Hey everybody, John and Dan here with another Dan's Models episode. And this is N-Scale Operation Lifesaver something. What's up with this?
This is a Kato AC4400 that is a former Chicago Northwestern Union Pacific engine that's been patched. And I did the patching, so I'm sure some CNW fans out there are cringing. But this is a prototype locomotive that it's patterned after a prototype locomotive that I found pictures of online.
So why was the purpose of this one?
Well, I have a lot of Union Pacific diesels in N-Scale.
You know, it's interesting. That's one thing that I've never known, Dan, because I know about your HO scale is mid-90s Santa Fe / Southern Pacific / UP area rather. But I never asked you about your N-Scale. What's your N-Scale theme?
Well, I wanted to do something a little different. So in N-Scale, I was thinking more like, 2000s, like maybe 2005 to, I don't know. When I started doing this, I was thinking present day, but of course the present day doesn't stand still. So that originally happened to me in the 90s, which is how I got stuck there in the HO.
Yeah.
But, this, like from 2005 to, I don't know.
To whenever.
To whenever. Yeah, this was probably appropriate. Or maybe even earlier. I'm not sure exactly when this particular unit was patched. But it is, like I said, patterned after a real locomotive. I took obviously a Chicago Northwestern Kato engine, and I used some either chameleon or scale coat paint remover, I can't remember now, to remove the original numbers on the side under the cab.
Right.
And the reason I did that was to eliminate any contours that the numbers might leave. Because when they print these things, the lettering and numbers actually have a little bit of a thickness.
Oh, so it's like embossed or something.
Yeah. So if you put a decal over that without doing something to it, they would still show. So I actually wanted to get rid of them.
Right.
So I did that. And then I used just a yellow square of decal sheet to apply the patch on this under the cab, and then some microscale Union Pacific numbers to apply the number.
And you said this is accurate to the prototype? So
yeah,
if someone were to find this, what is it?
6737.
So if someone were to find the 6737, it looks like this?
It's probably dirtier than this. I haven't done any weathering on this one. I also patched the number boards on the front. There aren't any on the back. I sanded off the original numbers and then put new decals on them.
Yeah, it's so small. That must be really hard to get into.
It can be a bit of a pain, yeah. But the Kato number board material is kind of this translucent white stuff. It's like some kind of plastic. So it does make a good base for putting other decals over it.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, but I can tell this is N-Scale because the detail is very lacking compared to what I'm used to seeing from you.
Yeah, and I haven't done any really detailing on this. The only thing I did to it was add microtrains couplers. And there's also, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a little white strip of plastic above the coupler. I believe that's a shim, probably to get the coupler to come out at the right height. Yeah, and I don't remember now which number of microtrains coupler I used on this thing. But I did set it. I always set them up so that the coupler height's right.
It's cool that all the lights work, though. I like seeing ditch lights on N-Scale. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, one thing about this, this has a Digitrax decoder in it, and the way these are set up is the ditch lights and the number boards and the headlight all work together. It's basically all driven off the same LED. So in HO, I wouldn't like that. Yeah. I would want them all to be separate. But in N-Scale,
not as particular, huh?
Well, that and the fact that doing that, trying to separate them would be really, really hard because it's so small and you just don't have a lot of room to work with. Yeah. So, and honestly, I don't sweat detail as much at N-Scale because it doesn't show that much a lot of times.
Yeah, seriously, my eyes are so bad. Even without the reading glasses I have on, I wouldn't be able to see most of that anyway. I couldn't read the numbers,
So on the back, there aren't any number boards, but it did have a number that's just painted on the engine. It says UP 6737. And that's also done with microscale decals, just like the shield on the front is microscale.
Yeah, it's a nice detail.
Yeah, I also added these little yellow squares. I'm not sure what those are for, but
It almost looks like a plated over number board or something.
yeah, I'm not sure, but they were on the engine, so I put them there.
Since this one doesn't have any sound, let's just see how it runs.
Yeah. It's pretty nice and smooth like most Katos.
Yeah, their mechanical stuff seems to be really good.
Yeah. And I know I've said this before, but it's such a pleasure to have nicely running N-scale locomotives after having grown up in the era when they didn't run so good.
Well, they had one speed, right? It was either full blast or it didn't move at all.
Yeah, well, some of them were a little better than that, but they're much better nowadays.
Yeah.
Quiet. The motors are smaller; they can fit in a scale width hood, and they just run really smooth.
Yeah, it is really smooth. Cool. All right. Well, I guess that'll do it for this episode. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah.